So I stumbled upon this article on HabsFanatics.com, and the reason I wanted to share this here with you today is because it's an original piece. Normally, articles on that website are in the realm of just kind of regurgitating stuff that other people say or that other people write about. It's very similar to my YouTube channel, I'm not gonna lie. No disrespect to the Habs Fanatics, folks, I'm right there with you. I do this stuff too. But the reason I liked the article they had published earlier this morning by Elias Adam is because it goes over just a whole bunch of facts, and it lays it all out here for us to go out there and read, screenshot, and discuss. So, I'll leave a link in the description to this HabsFanatics.com article by Elias Adam. Good and bad news emerge for the Canadiens ahead of Ivan Demidov's much-anticipated debut. This is a very interesting dive into the status of the NHL and what the Canadiens are dealing with heading into the last few days of the 24-25 regular season. So, without further ado, let's dive into this. We're down to the final stretch of this incredible playoff race in the East, and with that, let's take a look at the current situation as of today following last night's games. 1. Let's start with the positive. The good news is that the Canadiens' rivals, some of them at least, have officially been eliminated from playoff contention. It's over for the New York Rangers, who are now going to miss the playoffs after winning the President's Trophy last year. It's over for the Detroit Red Wings too, who are going to miss the playoffs for the 9th straight season. And on top of that, it's also over for Patrick Waugh's New York Islanders, who will miss the playoffs for just a second time in the last 7 seasons. Now, that's fine and dandy. That's great. Detroit's out. The Islanders are out. By the way, they're up 1-0 against New Jersey right now. Yeah, whose idea was it to play a game this early into the morning? Bo Horvat scored the 1-0 goal. And also, the Detroit Red Wings are out too. There are only 2 teams left fighting for that final wildcard spot, Montreal and Columbus. It's tight. The Habs have 2 games left with 88 points on the year right now. Columbus can overtake them, considering they have 3 games remaining and 83 points on the season. So if Montreal loses in regulation, and they lose in regulation to finalize the year, and Columbus wins their remaining 3 games, Columbus will overtake Montreal. That's the easiest way to put it. There are tiebreakers and stuff, but just boil it down to simple points. If the Habs get a win anywhere, they clinch. And the fact that they have Chicago tomorrow makes it a little bit easier to stomach that idea. Now, let's go back over onto the article and read where some of the bad stuff might be seeping in here. Because yeah, it's great that the Isles are out, the Red Wings are out. Okay, not for me, I'm a Red Wings fan. But seeing these other Canadiens rivals tapping out of the playoff race, it's great. However, things are getting tense for the Montreal Canadiens, and Marty St. Louis' squad is showing worrying signs. The bad news is that with 2 consecutive losses, the Canadiens are opening the door for the red-hot Blue Jackets, who are facing a Capitals team that will once again rest some of its players. Ah, boy. This is why fantasy leagues should stop the week before the final week of the NHL regular season. You know how I've been screwed over by Jack Eichel and Sam Reinhart? Some of these guys who are hurt and they're just getting dragged out into the playoffs. Sam Reinhart's not even hurt. He's just resting multiple games. And I don't even have Nathan MacKinnon, who's going through similar tribulations in Colorado. So this is kind of the situation we're dealing with here. Teams are resting their star players. Washington's doing the same. Columbus, of course, they're not. They're in the thick of it. They want to win their remaining 3 games. They want to overtake Montreal. These teams can't afford to rest their star players. The top teams can. And that's exactly whom it is the Blue Jackets are facing today. The other bad news is that the team is showing troubling signs. And included is a tweet made by Maxime Truman here. The Canadiens are trying their best to secure a playoff spot and to likely get in, but through the back door. The Habs have 39 wins and 41 total losses. They wouldn't make the playoffs if they were in the Western Conference. They're likely to finish the season with fewer than 90 points, and their goal differential is minus 21. Not to mention how they are often outshot by their opponents. Now here's the thing. These stats are correct. That's not wrong. These are real things here, and you could look at the numbers, it's all there. But I do think that it doesn't really paint an accurate picture as to just how successful the season really was. And I say successful, not necessarily in the way like, oh yeah, it's good to lose more games than you win and to get outshot most of the time you're playing. It's good to do that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that contextually speaking, in the context of the weak Eastern Conference, and I say weak because compared to the West, Western teams like St. Louis, Minnesota, these wildcard teams are all above and beyond what the Senators and the Canadiens are right now in terms of points. The fact is, the Canadiens were in the race, and the fact is, the Canadiens came out on top. That's it. They had a hand that they were dealt. They dealt with that hand, and now they're in the playoffs, or they're close to making the playoffs. They just need another point. It's a really tight race here, and I think if any Canadiens fan was given the option back in November, back in December, when the team was going through a few really bad slumps, if you told any Canadiens fan, hey, Ivan Demidov is going to light the league on fire in Russia, he's going to come over to the Montreal Canadiens to end off the season, and the Canadiens are going to make the gosh darn playoffs. If you told Habs fans that in any circumstance, they would have been ecstatic over the moon. Even if the Canadiens are losing more games than they're winning, and they are getting outshot quite frequently, even if their point production wasn't good enough to make the playoffs had they been in the Western Conference. I get it, it's a fair point to bring up. It's indicating the quality of the Canadiens compared to some of these other teams that are in the playoffs, and let's be real, it's not great. The Habs are not one of the best teams making the dance this year after all, but the fact that they are just getting in, or they're very close to getting in and of itself is a win for a young group of guys that has been struggling through this rebuild the past few seasons, getting high draft picks and being so bad last year that they were able to draft 5th overall. Now they're in a spot where they might not even get a pick in the top 16. Just kidding, they will, because Calgary is there, but Montreal's is the next pick outside of the top 16. It's in the 17th overall spot. So there is a lot to be proud of for the Montreal Canadiens, even though heading into the playoffs this year, I don't think anybody is even realistically thinking of Montreal as a playoff cup contending threat, right? I mean, the numbers do speak for themselves here. Yes, it's a great story for Montreal, but yes, as well, they are still the team that has lost more games than they have won, and they are not necessarily a favorite at all. But that's fine. They don't need to be a favorite at this stage. They're still young, they're still getting better. One of the best players on the team, and Ivan Demidov, has just been added from Russia. He's 19 years old. Nobody is expecting this Canadiens team to do the damage like a Washington or a Florida or whatever in this year's playoff run, and that's okay. So with all that in mind, I want you to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, whether or not you think this really is bad news for the Montreal Canadiens. I get it, on paper it is literally bad. It is not good to see that team lose more than they win. It is not good to see the Canadiens get outshot like they did yesterday against the Toronto Maple Leafs. But for a team that's not really supposed to be winning the cup anyway, I think it's fine. Making the playoffs is the win in and of itself. It's like the Oscars, man. The nomination for some folks is the victory, even if you've got no chance of going up against Adrian Brody and the Brutalist. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about this HabsFanatics.com argument that says that the Canadiens have some good and bad news attached to them. Do you agree? Disagree? Do you think it's all sunshine, rainbow ponies here in Montreal? Or do you think there is some room to be a little bit cautious and wary of the quality of play the Habs provide out there on the ice? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.